Now, we have been getting calls from a few KFYI listeners directed to Andrew Babinski, and they call him up and they say, "Look here, jackass!" So then where does it go?
I take attention. Why don't you call me a jackass? I'm listening.
I understand.
The couple of them told me about a website called ICArizona.com.
I see Arizona, like I can see November from my house?
I and C.
I see. Oh, but it's not supposed to mean as in view, like I can see.
No, it stands for intellectual conservative.
Intellectual conservative.
Sure.
Okay, I'll buy that.
And they said we shouldn't even be talking about this poll.
What do you mean we shouldn't be talking about this poll?
The media should not pay any attention to this because, as this headline states, Rocky Mountain poll doctored to give McCain big lead over Hayworth.
Doctored?
Yeah.
What a nasty thing to say. Doctored, Michelle. That's a serious thing.
It's a serious charge.
Doctored.
I mean, what they mean by doctored, apparently, is it's fraudulent.
Oh yeah, fixed.
Well, somebody went into the poll with rubber gloves on and stuck their finger up its butt and manipulated it. Is that what they're saying?
It's a pretty picture.
Well, yeah, I'm telling you, this is what they.
So I can quote the article on why it's doctored.
Right.
Has nothing to do with the rubber glove.
Okay, what?
Instead of surveying likely Republican voters,
yes,
which is a realistic way to predict an actual outcome of a primary.
Generally speaking, I'll agree.
The poll surveyed 1/3 independents and 2/3 regular Republican.
Now,
Republican voters.
What's a regular Republican?
Not likely, I guess.
What do you mean not
They're
likely?
different.
Okay.
So a regular Republican would be someone who normally votes Republican. A likely Republican would be someone who's going to vote in the election.
I see.
So a regular Republican doesn't mean they're actually going to vote.
All right.
I would assume.
Let me make a suggestion here. I would tend to say that article is just, and I want to be polite, stupid.
But wait, there's more.
Oh.
At the bottom of the article, there's a link. And this link states, click here to contribute to the J.D. Hayworth for Senate campaign.
Well, is this run by J.D. Hayworth?
Well, I don't know if it's by him. It's written by Rachel Alexander, who is the director of social media for the J.D. Hayworth campaign.
Would you be shocked to find out there's gambling going on in here?
Shocked, I tell you. Shocked.
What?
Well, everybody's got a right to do all of this.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. And it is true. If you see a poll and it says likely voters, your ears are going to perk up and you're going to look at that and say, that's what I want to know.
Well,
who's most likely to go to the polls? Okay, that's fine.
Let me posit this. Would you not say that in this particular campaign, J.D. Hayworth, John McCain, and the other guy, Jim Deacon, that every Republican you can find in this particular campaign is a
likely voter.
Likely voter.
There's
because
no question.
Emotions are high. Okay, the stakes are high. I think that this campaign to Republicans, Hayworth McCain, is to Republicans. It is the same as the Obama election was to African Americans. More African Americans, I don't know if it was a tipping point, but more African Americans went out and voted. And Hispanics went out and voted in that election because they felt they had an iron in the fire, a dog in the hunt. And I think it's that way here.
Little advice, though. Andrew, can you read that to me again? They use the word doctored.
Oh, yeah. Headline, Rocky Mountain poll doctored to give McCain big lead over
Little
Hayworth.
advice to the blogger.
Yeah.
The poll is not doctored because they didn't say likely voters. They said they interviewed Republicans and Republican-leaning independents. I'd love to hear or see a blog on how that gets into doctored.
Well, look, if the blogger has any credibility, and the message that she is a woman, the message that she is trying to send is that the poll cannot be believed. But if you want to use the word doctored, then you should come out and say that the poll was conducted with a built-in bias in a
fraudulent manner.
Right, and use the word fraud. I challenge the blogger to use the word fraud. Fraud, I believe the blogger is an attorney. The blogger will understand that the word fraud rises to a legal definition and is actionable should it be used in a situation that could tend to do harm in an untruthful way, can tend to do harm to the person against whom you're alleging fraud.
Well,
that would be Earl DeBerg. I would say, let's go ahead and I want to see if the blogger is ready to say that the poll was put out with the appearance of a genuine appearance of what is the word that I'm looking for? Independence, or, that it wasn't trying to sway anybody's opinion. It was done in a way to just present the facts. But if the blogger wants to use the word doctored, the blogger should also use the word fraud. And if the word fraud is used, then Earl DeBerg should step in and say what he intends to do about being called a fraud.
It doesn't go that far. It says a new Rocky Mountain poll put out by the Left Wing Behavior Research Center on the Hayworth-McCain Senate race has skewed the voters surveyed so much in order to favor the more liberal McCain.
Is the blogger willing to talk about the intent of the behavioral research people?
They're liberal.
Okay. I'd like to know, did they intend to defraud the public? I'd like to know what that means. I'd like to know. Because, that's what we're saying. Come out and say what you mean. Mean what you say. Give me this horse crap about I don't know whether it's doctored or not. I have no idea. I'm just repeating the information I see here. Clearly, J.D. Hayworth doesn't, at this moment, should the election be held today, regardless of this poll, clearly the feeling in the community is that he can't win the election today. And again, I don't think he's down to 19% in reality. I don't think so. But the question is, can he achieve 40% of the vote right now?
Well, I got to back up just a step. Seriously, writing that, just putting that out there.
That it's doctored?
That it's doctored, that it's skewed, that it's not to be believed, that it's a left-leaning liberal,
Is it?
Does that further the campaign? Does it help JD does that help? And I say that doesn't help.
You mean if you are, the person who wrote this story is what? Director of social media?
For the J.D. Hayworth
campaign. That means they're the blogger.
Yeah.
That's all it means. They're the blogger, and they get on the Internet. And
run the Facebook, run the Twitter.
So they try to sway opinion for their candidate. Great. Fabulous. That's a great, every candidate needs to have a social media person to twit and blog and Facebook and all that. That's great. But, Michelle, you've hit the nail on the head. If you're working for that candidate, does attacking the poll do anything to put a positive spin on the campaign? No. I don't see how that helps in any way.
It looks to me like the picture in my brain is a defensive crouch.
No. All right. All phone calls for the remainder of the show, and especially those of you who are J.D. Hayworth supporters. It's KFYI.